Behind me is the smallest ever pale garden biome in Minecraft. This thing consists of a total of like 6 trees. This is not what I was expecting to find when loading into my first 1.21.50.20 world. Jeez, okay. Well, anyway, as you all can tell, we have a brand new beta and preview on Minecraft Bedrock Edition. And, well, it brings all the crazy brand new features that were announced in Minecraft Live. Also, look at this. When you enter the Pale Garden, the entire sky goes gray. So that's quite interesting. Didn't really realize that was going to be a feature of the biome. But yeah, before we go ahead and check this thing out in its entirety, why don't we see if I can't find a larger one? Well, it appears that the Pale Garden biome is not actually all that common. Teleported myself 3,000 blocks away, and the game says that it cannot find a Pale Garden biome within a reasonable distance. So, I mean, we're gonna try again, but it seems that this biome might actually be pretty, uncommon. Alright, here we go. Is this one? Okay, so I stand corrected. The one that we started the video with was not the smallest ever Pale Garden biome. This is. It's one tree. Mojang, what in the world? Come on, Mojang. Oh my goodness. Alright, well this Pale Garden isn't huge, but you know what? It's big enough for the purpose of today's video. Oh my goodness. Anyway, today we have a brand new beta and preview to go ahead and look at, bringing us all of these wonderful features. Now, as I'm sure all of you know, this update brings the creaking along with the pale oak wood and some other fun features. So why don't we go ahead and do time set night and just take a look at the creaking. So the creaking spawns from the pale hearts, which is somewhere within these trees, and we'll get to that in a moment. Now, in order for the creaking to spawn, it does have to be night, and you have to be in a pale garden biome, of course. Now, when the creaking spawns, it will immediately link to any hearts that are in the tree. So hopefully we'll see one soon, and I can show you how this works. Okay, so I've done a little bit of looking around, trying to see why a creaking is not spawning. And it appears that not a single creaking heart has spawned in one of these trees, which is really strange. I didn't know this was going to be a thing. But yeah, so if you're wondering how this whole creaking spawning works, this creaking will spawn at nighttime. But it has to have a creaking heart in the vicinity that it can link to. Now, normally a creaking heart would spawn somewhere inside one of these trees, just like this maybe, and it'll be hidden. And then it will spawn a creaking at nighttime. And now that there is a creaking, I can go ahead and go back to survival and show you how the creaking works. The way the creaking works is when you're looking at it, it won't attack you. But if I just turn away, as you can see, it's now coming after me. But if I turn back around, now it'll freeze. I also don't know how well you can hear these sounds, but there are a lot of really weird sounds. Like it plays some cool sounds. But when you hit that creaking, you can't kill it. It's now immortal, and the only way to actually get rid of it is to follow the particle stream to the tree, and when you then destroy that creaking heart, which can be difficult because the creaking is like right there, once you now destroy it, the creaking will disappear. Now, I didn't know that you would be able to find pale oak forests that just didn't spawn a creaking, but apparently you can. So if we go ahead and summon in another one, firstly, in terms of damage, it does about 1 heart per hit with iron armor. So if we were to go ahead and get full netherite, so if you actually had like full netherite armor, you really have nothing to worry about. This guy's not going to do any significant damage to you. Another really interesting thing about this guy is they added the feature. So if you're wearing a carved pumpkin, even when you're looking at it, it can still chase you. And I don't really know for what implication this would be like useful in. Maybe if you're making a mini game of some sorts, that could be fun because it does remove like a lot of your vision, and you got this creepy looking thing chasing you, so that could be cool. But yeah, that's generally how the creaking works. Again, I had no idea that you could spawn a pale oak forest that just didn't have any creaking hearts in it. So that's really quite interesting, but apparently that is possible. Also, in case I didn't mention this yet, when it becomes daytime, the creaking will just disappear. So it spawns on the day-night cycle, so at daytime, it will just vanish. It doesn't matter if the heart's still there. When the sun comes out, it will just disappear magically. Now, for those wondering, if you spawn a creaking using a spawn egg, it doesn't link to any hearts, so it is actually killable, and the same thing applies if you summon one via commands. Now, some really interesting things to do with the creaking here. Where did that one spawn? Here he is. Oddly enough, the creaking cannot get into a boat, which I thought was quite strange. But yeah, you cannot put the You cannot put the creaking into a boat. It's not possible. He will not get in it. You also cannot push them into the nether. They don't like it in there. They will not go. Now, for those of you wondering if you can spawn a creaking in the nether, the heart does appear to activate when you set it up in the nether. However, the creaking just doesn't appear to spawn in. There's no creaking anywhere in sight. I even went into spectator mode because I was curious if it spawned somewhere else. The creaking just does not appear to spawn in the nether, which is kind of strange. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to have one in the nether. Assuming the heart is also in the same dimension, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to spawn one in. The creaking will not go to the nether. The creaking will not go in a boat or a minecart. And now the changelog does not say anything about the end. However, I'm assuming if it won't go to the nether, it probably also will not go to the end. However, like I did mention, changelog says absolutely nothing about it. So, kind of curious to find out. So, for those of you wondering, no, it cannot go in the end either. And also, no, it will not spawn in the end. No creaking anywhere to be seen. So, yeah, it's apparently only in the overworld, which, again, kind of strange. I don't understand why it wouldn't be allowed to go in the other dimensions. I can understand why you might not want to have it go through the portal because the heart is already in the overworld, but it does seem weird to me that I can't spawn it in any other dimension. Maybe it's a bug and it'll just be changed in the future, or they didn't think of it, but I don't know. First of all, we can go ahead and take a look at some of the new sounds. First of all, we have the sounds from the hanging moss. So hanging moss, if it is attached to either a pale oak log or pale oak leaves, it will emit eerie sounds. So the biome is not going to have sounds or ambient sounds. It's all going to be coming from these blocks. So if you were to remove all the vines, all of a sudden the biome would be pretty quiet. So if you want to have the same creepy sounds at your base, you could do it. Another thing that emits some cool sounds now is supposed to be the pale heart. If it is surrounded by logs on all four sides and is activated, meaning that it's nighttime, it's supposed to play some cool sounds. Cool, this means that we can have these unique sounds around our base, and we don't have to build in the biome. Okay, so the pale hanging moss is one of the new plants that spawn in this biome, and interestingly enough, it does not grow. You have to bone meal it if you want it to grow. And I know I said in one of my videos that we might be able to climb it because I thought this would be kind of like vines. You cannot climb this. It's just like a decorative block. So there you go. I was wrong. But yeah, it does not naturally grow. You have to bone meal it, and you can't climb it, which I really think we should be able to climb this, Mojang. Just a bit of feedback, but I really think we should be able to climb this. Now, this biome also brings pale moss blocks, which it's just another variant of moss. You can't craft anything with it. You can't really do anything with it. It just looks cool. So, I mean, there's that. And then, probably the most interesting block here is the brand new pale moss carpets. Now, what's interesting about this to me is not just like the color or anything. You know, you can just place it around. It's just like a normal moss carpet. What's really interesting about this is if you place it next to a block, it creeps up the side of the block, as you can see here. And you can break or bone meal the different carpets to control the height. Now, you cannot go above 2 blocks tall, so like the one next to the carpet, which has to be there. You can get it to go 1 taller if you want, or not, up to you. But I just thought that's really cool, because we have no blocks that do like anything like this in Minecraft right now, and it's really cool. And the pale moss carpet can even climb on multiple blocks at once. So like if we completely surround this thing and then bone meal it, it can go all the way up, all sides of the block. So you kind of get a cool effect that reminds me a lot of the effect you get with the glow lichen. A very similar effect indeed. And of course, with a brand new tree comes a brand new wood set. We of course have planks, we have stairs, we have slabs, we have fence posts, fence gates, we have some brand new doors and trapdoors. We of course have pressure plates, buttons, signs, hanging signs, and finally boats and chest boats. I'm not gonna lie, the boats weirdly look like they're glowing. Honestly, this whole wood set kind of looks like it's glowing. It's really weird. At nighttime, the effect isn't as strong, but it's I don't even know how to describe it fully. It almost looks like it's got a glow to it. Like if I just step back and look away, there are other white blocks in the area, but this just kind of like it really looks like it's glowing almost, even though it isn't, and it's so strange. I don't know if I'm the only one who sees this, but it does. It looks kind of weird to me. But I think it's really cool. This is going to open up the door for so many builds, and I'm so excited to actually be able to go ahead and start playing with this. I hope you guys are too. I have some really cool ideas for building with this wood. That is actually it for all the features that were mentioned in Minecraft Live. Now, of course, there is more to today's beta and preview. The first of 2 notable changes that I want to mention is, first of all, they seem to have changed the sleeping screen. So now the screen kind of fades out from the top first, and then they removed the chat button. There used to be a chat button, so when you were in bed, there was the leave bed button on the left and the open chat on the right. Now you can no longer chat while in bed. Your only option is to leave bed, where you can then open chat separately and type whatever you're going to type. So I just thought that's really interesting. And I also really like the new animation. So it like slowly, the fade is slightly slower. It'll slowly fade in from the top. I don't know, it's not a very significant change, but it's one that is oddly incredibly satisfying to me. And I really, really like it. Now for the final notable change in this update, Mojang appears to have given us a bit of a challenge in the changelog. Now, the changelog reads, if you somehow manage to mine a dragon egg, which is almost impossible, it no longer requires a pickaxe to drop and is easily quick to mine with any tool. Now, I know many of you are thinking, mine a dragon egg? Well, that's impossible. And well, I think that's what Mojang wants you to think, but for those of you who do not know, if you just go to a giant area of solid blocks, far out of the range of the dragon egg's teleport range, when you go to hit it, it will not be able to teleport because there's no open blocks for it to teleport to within its teleportation range. Meaning that in this giant void that we're under, if we just go ahead and mine this dragon egg down here, absolutely nothing can stop us from just mining it because it has absolutely nowhere to teleport. And assuming the changelog is right, would you look at that? We can also mine the dragon egg just as fast as we did with the pickaxe using our shovel. Very, very nice change. And honestly, I'm willing to bet many of you didn't know you could do that with the dragon egg. The more you know. Also, by the way, if you made it this far in the video, go ahead and comment dragon egg down below, just because why not? Anyways, that is going to be it for today's video. I do hope you have enjoyed, and I hope you are very eager and excited to see what else might come out of this winter holiday drop. Because all the features that they promised are already in the game, and well, we still have 2 months till they plan to release this, so hopefully we'll see some other interesting features come out. And if you go ahead and smash that subscribe button, if any more features do come out, you can be sure I will go ahead and cover them right here on this very YouTube channel. Anyways, this has been Mr. Gaming Aquatic. I sure hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.